Hi people, this is Mike Owangwa on day 9 NaijaCommando Storytelling Challenge. So today I'll be sharing something very interesting. Just open your mind and listen. I'll be talking about don't criticize what you don't understand. Okay, so one time, years ago, we were discussing in a fellowship, like a Bible study and all that. We're discussing certain things. And so we discussed about this athlete who used to compete. He's a Christian. And so usually when you have these athletic meets, global athletic meets, like World Athletics Competition, Olympics and all that, some of the events are done on Sundays, either Sunday mornings or Sunday evenings. So this athlete, a Christian, decided that he was not going to compete on Sundays. Right, this was his conviction because he believed that Sunday was a day of rest and then we're not supposed to go to work and all. So, people shared their views. Some people felt differently and all that. Now, I stood vehemently and I said, no, yeah, he was right. Sundays, you don't work on Sundays and all that. Well, years later, this same person now changed his mind and he decided to compete on Sundays. So we had a long time debating the subject and all. And I felt that people should not open their businesses on Sundays because Sunday is a holiday. Alright, so fast forward a couple of years later, they got me a small job. Then I had not gone to university, so they got me a job to be a checker. You know what they call this set of people checkers. So a checker is one of many people that after exam papers like WAEC may have been marked, they give it to the checkers to just check through and see that the grading and all that are okay. So the checker checks and then passes it on to the next people to do their job. So I was a checker and they had done orientation for us and everything. I think we worked one day and then the next day we were supposed to work. It was now a Sunday. We were supposed to come back on Sunday morning. So I went and told the head I wanted to see him and take excuse that I won't be able to come on Sunday because I won't come early. Let me come like after 12 o'clock and all that. And they didn't agree. So what it meant is that eventually I was going to lose out on the whole job. It's either, they didn't want to listen to anything. So it's either you come or you don't come. So I was the music head of our music group back then in church. So I needed to be in church and I cried though. I felt it was persecution. That time, I've not seen real persecution in life. I felt it was persecution. So I cried. I said, they are persecuting me for the sake of Christ. I want to go to church. They don't want me to go to church, Now, several years down the line, I started working in a bank. So there were times when you have to work on Sundays. You have to make your ATMs run on Sundays. You have to do something. There was even a time, as I was entering church to listen to the message, they called me and told me that one of our ATMs was down. I came out of church. As I just entered though, I came out of church and I went back to fix it, to resolve it. So did it make me a sinner? No. But back then when I was criticizing, I didn't understand. So this I'm going to the lessons learned now. Don't criticize what you don't understand. So there are many things that we go through, or there are many things that we talk about. We just say them. You've never experienced it. You advise married people. You've never been in marriage. You don't know what is going on. Yes, it's okay to share your opinion, but sometimes don't be too uptight. Don't be too rigid in the things you say because you've not walked a mile in that person's shoes. When you talk about pregnant women, we talk about pregnancy, we talk about anything whatsoever. Most people that criticize others vehemently have no clue about what it means to walk in their shoes. And so there I was. I started going to work on Sundays when I was working in the bank and all. And I had no choice. I just had to do it. So it's just like you are a medical practitioner, and you need to work on Sunday. You need to save lives. We do not say, I want to go to church. I'm not going to save lives. So these are questions we need to ask ourselves. When you think about the aim of the Sabbath day, the Sabbath day was to signify rest. That every human being needs to rest. God worked for 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. He rested. It signified rest. It was also a type to show Christ, and how Christ will be our Sabbath, how Christ will be our rest from all our toils, from all our troubles, from all our trials and all that. So it was actually a message. So while it is good, it's also a way to make sure that people rest. Because if you leave some people, they are going to keep working round the clock and they'll break down. It should monitor your health. So the idea is, make sure that you rest no matter what. But more important than that is your relationship with God is key. Is superior to any kind of worship or church attendance that you may want to seek. I hope you don't misunderstand me, but I'm just saying that it's important that you take time to rest. But if you're a medical practitioner and you need to save lives, let it never be said that people died on your watch because you went to church. It's wrong. If you are doing a job, a critical job that requires you to be there, you need to be there to do your job. It's a form of worship. You need to be there. You need to represent God. And do you know that there are some kind of jobs that God gives you? He gives you because He's positioning you to be a representative. That is your church. And you need to have that mindset. That is your church. When you come to church, church builds you, church equips you, and church equips you to go out into the world and to make disciples of nations. Church equips you to go out there and do what you need to do for God. So I need us to begin to think about this. Let's know what you think. So these are my lessons learned. Don't criticize what you don't understand. Else, one day you're going to be in that situation and then you realize that you didn't even know what you were talking about. So let me know what you think. This has been Mike Owangwa talking about NaijaCommando Storytelling Challenge. This challenge is to promote my forthcoming book, NaijaCommando. Please make sure you order when it comes out. And then shout out to DMC 95, my classmates from Command Secondary School. This year makes it 30 years we'll be leaving school. God bless you. See you tomorrow on day 10.